How are you doing today? I'm Grace. Welcome to my channel, The Blooming Lotus in Paramita. Today, I'm in the Emerald Lake and we are going to continue our topic from last week, how to deal with our anxiety. Last week, we shared a Buddhism mantra that can help us to cope with our anxious and worrying feelings. Have you ever tried it? If you tried, let me know how you feel, please. This week, we have two things to do. We all know that most of our anxiety is because of our judgment. It's because of ourselves. Don't judge, then we can relieve from anxiety. But most people will say, well, it's just easy to say. By how? By how we can not judge? And why, if we do not judge, we can relieve from anxiety? So today, I'm going to tell you the why and how by a Zen story. Of course, in the end of my video, I'm going to show you my ultimate weapon to fight the anxiety, which is confession. How it could be work, you will figure out in this video. So follow me, please. There is a Zen story. It is said that long ago, there was a Zen master who was wandering and traveling a lot to cultivate Zen Buddhism. One day, he went to a butcher's shop to shelter from the rain. He was standing there and observing the customers and the business. He saw a customer came in and said, "Hey, butcher, I want a pound of lean meat, please, no fat at all." The butcher said, "Sure, of course." Then gave him the proper meat. The customer was satisfied and left. Not long, another customer came in and talked to the butcher. Then she asked the butcher to give her a pound of fat pork belly. The butcher also gave her what she wanted. She was so happy and said thank you. Then after a while, the third customer came in and asked the butcher, "Hey, I want a pound of streaky pork, please." Then the butcher said, "Of course," and cut the streaky pork for the customer, and the customer was satisfied. So the butcher talked to the Zen master and he said, "You see, everyone is happy here. Everyone get what they want. The meat in my shop is all good meat." Suddenly, the Zen master realized that the key point is not about the good or bad meat. It's about everyone. The butcher gave everyone what they want, so everyone is happy. So they say meat, the pork in butcher's shop is good. When my Buddhism master told me this story, we were traveling in the Central Asia, in Kazakhstan or somewhere. In that trip, at that moment, actually I was so struggling for why I stuck in anxiety in the last winter, why I could not pull myself out of anxiety for such a long time. So through this story, I got 2 points. The first one, people judge by their own opinions. The second one, in most people's opinions, there are good situations and bad situations. I understand that although I feel much better now, as long as I'm a human being, as long as I have my flesh, as long as I have my hormone up and down, those negative feelings and emotions such as anxiety can come back to me anytime if I do not find a proper way to solve the problem, to help myself relieve from anxiety, to help people in the same situation. Since I got that 2 points from Zen story, I made myself call back to the memories in that winter. Asking myself, is there anything that can affect you badly? Actually, there was one. is about my permanent residency. Because I had been working in Canada for 2 years at that moment, waiting for my permanent residency. And 2.5 years is kind of a bit long for the program that I applied. So I worried about it. It is reasonable. But my problem is I have my own standard to judge, to analyze the whole thing of my permanent residency. I kind of distinguish my possibility into 2 directions. A, I can get my permanent residency. Grace, you're a good girl. You did everything right, and you deserve it. Your life in tomorrow will be even better. And B, I could not get it. There must be something wrong with me. I must did something bad. My life will be a mess in the future. And after that, I start to make up story in my mind, which gave myself so much pressure that made me could not breathe. I know it sounds ridiculous and absurd, but I'm sure that I'm not the only one who did something like this. We are human beings. We tend to set up the standard by ourselves. The lady went to the butcher's shop. She wanted streaky meat. If the butcher gave her a pound of fat meat, she would say, "Your meat is not good, and I don't like it." Why? Because in her standard, in her opinion, streaky pork is the good pork. For most people, have a success career and own a huge amount of fortune. Fortune is an essential element for a happy life. If we cannot get it, we're not going to be happy. See, this is the standard we set up for ourselves. And this is the standard we suffered from. And this is the standard how we judge our life. And this is the source of our suffering. We always tend to distinguish bad situation and good situation. Actually, which situation would be good for us, will be benefit us, we never know. There is an important word called prana in Heart Sutra. Prana is the wonderful wisdom from the forest Dharma. It never judges, just like Heart Sutra said, because there is no impediment. He is not afraid. And he leaves this thought dream thinking far behind and can attain the ultimate nirvana. We chant Heart Sutra every day, but still we tend to set up so many concepts or standard for us. We tend to judge this is good situation, this is bad for me. And more concepts, more standard, more judgment, more anxious. Most people just never realize it. On the contrary, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they never judge because they won't distinguish good situation from bad situation. And to be honest, now I believe that there is no situation could be absolutely good for someone or bad for someone. Could be absolutely benefit someone or hurt someone. So this is the reason why judge can hurt us, make us anxious and suffering. And now we go to the how part. How can we do not judge? I know this is so easy to say, but not judge. You tell me how. Like, I've always encouraged people to start their Buddhism cultivation from keeping precepts. As long as we can keep precepts, we will have less desire, which means that you won't set up that much standard for yourself. You won't say, I have to make 1 million per year or I'm not going to be happy. so you won't suffering from your desires, from your standard. And secondly, polish our samadhi power. As long as we have strong, sufficient samadhi power, even if we meet some challenging situation, we can still keep calm and peaceful. Do not dragged by our desire, by someone else's standard. Lastly, if we keep precepts and polished our samadhi, our original wisdom will revealed. If we can attain that level, we won't worry about the things that most people worried for. So our anxiety will be gone. Before the end of this video, I would like to ask you something. Why we feel anxious? I felt anxious, you felt anxious. Why it is not your husband, not your wife, not your parents, not your colleagues, not your boss? Why us? It must be some reason. As the Buddhists, we all know the principle of cause and effect. There must be a cause or causes for us to anxious. I mean, we don't have to feel shame for it, but anxiety is not a positive sign of life, right? So we have to think about it. Why? Why me? So how about take this good timing to rethink about life, to think about that. Did I do something to hurt someone, to hurt some beings, to make them feel anxious, feel worried? If you can keep a humble heart and ask yourself and confess to them, you'll figure out the miracle of confession. You will relieve from anxiety soon. Okay, this is our Dharma talk today. Thank you so much for your watching. I hope that my theory and my suggestions could give you some inspiration of dealing with the anxiety. If you like my videos, please give me a like and please follow and subscribe my channel. Then you can see every video that I upgrade in YouTube. I'm Grace. See you next week. Bye.